it's Mochi, and welcome back to our series playthrough of Zelda Breath of the Wild. I know it's been like several weeks since I last posted, but it's because one, there was a week of Thanksgiving break where all the kids were home, and two, this past week I've been working on getting back into college, which has been successful. I'm going to be starting the 5th next month, so I'm super excited for that. I cannot wait, but we're going to get in and we're going to start with some cooking because I could use a few more meals, like some heart regens, or extra hearts, I should say. So I actually clicked the wrong thing because I forgot I need to have food in my hand. It's been a bit since I played. I gotta remember the controls. But let's cook up a few meals. It cut out some of my meal cooking for some reason. And I neglected to cook some defense stuff, which bites me in the butt later on. And I regret it now. Because I do a lot of tough fights and use all of my defense foods, which I will end up having to find somewhere to cook more defense foods. But you'll see that later on in the video. We are going to come here to the store and sell some stuff in our inventory, which is going to be these, not anything over there, but these amber right here. We're going to sell all of these, because that's a decent chunk of money for us. And we're going to sell this opal. Now, we're not going to sell these luminous stones because these are going to become very valuable for us here in a little bit. Well, not technically in a little bit, but it's going to take a while for them to become quote-unquote valuable, because we have to do a certain thing to get them to become valuable. And I do come over here just to see if there's any meals that I can possibly sell, but it's not really worth it. And I do want to come over here and grab all these ice arrows, because they can become very useful with fights. So let's go ahead and grab all of these. Yoink. Thank you, thank you. I think that's all that I need in the store. So today I don't really have a lot planned. I do want to try and get some shrines done, and I want to get some quests done. So we're going to try and do that as much as possible. But up here is a pretty quick and easy quest. If you go over here and over to this little waterfall area right over here, you'll see this guy. Remember this guy from the tower that we activated? Oh, you, hi, it's me, the one Prince Sidon left at the top of the tower. My name's Groove. In the end, I wasn't able to meet up Prince Sidon, but I worked up the spirit to jump down. I was deeply moved seeing my shadow, or reflection. It is my keen observation that you see your true self. In the Zora armor, wearing the Zora armor, and then a Hylian like you can climb up a waterfall. That said, if you don't mind me asking, could I see your dive? You can dive headfirst into the water below. It would be beauty if I could see it. I didn't leave the dialogue in there long because it's not that complicated of a quest, except I forgot how to jump. That's my only issue. I forgot what the jump button was. I thought it was B, but it's not in this game. Usually jump button is B in any other games, but with this it is not. It is the X button. So what you do is you go right up to here and you click X, and then you'll dive. Blinding brightness, radiant beauty. Ahem. Now climb up the waterfall and meet me back here. I do dash just to make this quicker. And then you go back up, and I'll say something again. Fantastic! Can you feel that? My soul is on fire. You showed me something truly special. Thank you. Now come over here quick. And you just head back over here, and he gives you a reward. That was amazing. I saw you dive and waterfall climb with my own lucky eyes. Now those eyes are flooded with tears of joy. Yes, I must thank you somehow. And he gives us 5 fleet of lotus seeds. I feel emotionally ravished after that. It's not every day I get to see a diving form as beautiful as yours, you know. I'll be looking forward to your next dive. Okay, this guy. This guy is very important. It cut out some of the dialogue, but this is a lot of good dialogue here. However, those of us in Zora's domain are still feeling the ramifications of the chaos that Ruta wrought. Well, this guy is what we need those luminous stones for, and you'll find out in just a second. But it did cut out a lot of the starting dialogue, which is unfortunate, which is why I left so much of this in, so I can kind of talk over and explain why I left it in. But that's why my senior apprentice Franck and I are repairing the domain. However, our materials are a bit depleted. Depleted? Yes, repairs require a lot of luminous stones. You can find them, plenty of them, in Uptown Zora. If you have any, or if you have 10, you would be a big help. So, if we get 10 luminous stones and give them to him, he will give us a very, very valuable reward. And once I get 10 luminous stones, I will come back here and I will give those to him, and you'll see what reward we're gonna get. It's awesome to come back to him and give him those, because he gives you something really good. He actually gives you double of what he's gonna give you. And after you complete this quest, you can just come back to him constantly with 10 luminous stones, and he'll re-give you this reward. And it's really awesome, because this reward is very valuable when it comes to money making. It's like gonna be your fastest way to earn money. So that's really good. So we're just gonna explore a little bit, see if we can find some luminous stones on the way. I did try to strike that dude, but he was too quick. I'm just trying to explore as much as possible around here. I do have the Zora armor on right now because I'm going to be climbing up a lot of waterfalls to get to the top. But later on I will put my Shike armor back on, so I have full sneak mode. Yeah, I completely missed that there. That's just a tree branch. I thought it was like food, but it's not. Clearly it's not. I do try and get him again, but he vanished into thin air. That sword is a two-handed sword, so it takes a lot longer to swing it, which is really unfortunate. But there's nothing over along these cliffs, so I'm just gonna move on to the waterfall. We're just gonna head on over here. I tried to go back and grab some of those bass, but it was telling me to go up the waterfall, so I didn't get to do that, unfortunately. Which kind of sucks, but it's okay. But, we're gonna grab anything that we can see, because resources are very valuable in this game, as you can probably tell. Especially the cooking materials. Cooking materials are gonna be very, very vital to the game and to the way you are defensively, the way you fight defensively, and that kind of stuff. Later on, when we have full hearts, we won't need the extra heart ones, because we'll have full hearts, but we'll be able to just make ones that give us lots of hearts, and we'll be able to make like a ton of defense and speed and attack ones, and it's going to be awesome. But we got a long way before that happens. And there doesn't seem to be a whole lot on this cliff, so we're just going to move on. I thought that that was something, but it's just the part of Zora's domain, I do believe. So, yeah, we're just going to move on and go up the waterfall. So let's go ahead and head on up here. And I do need to take a picture of this guy, because I do not have this guy yet. And I also need to take a picture of the fox that's over here. There it is. Oh, I missed that. I thought I got it, but I did not. It's right there. Need to get it. Okay, I got it. And then my freaking gallery immediately got full after that. So I need to go through and delete all these. I did not see the delete all button at the first, or select all button at the start. And I'm like, oh, there's a select all button. That works. So that was pretty simple. It was a lot simpler than I was trying to make it out to be. I was making sure I had a picture of that guy as well, because I wasn't sure if I did or not. Doesn't seem to be any gem deposits over here. I did try and, like, get this guy, because he was running right past me, but he just vanished into thin air, so we are moving on. How are your days going? How was your Thanksgiving break? Is everybody excited for Christmas? I know I am. I'm excited because, I bought everybody Christmas gifts this year, because I had the money from doing stuff for my mom, and because I also had money from my financial aid that came in for my last entrance to college. So I spent most of that on Christmas gifts for everybody. So I'm excited for everybody to go and open them and see how they react to what they got. Because I'm pretty sure they're all going to like what they got. Because I know them. I know them too well. I tried to get that lizard, but he ran into the wall. Not having the full Shike armor on makes it to where the scared animals run from you immediately. I was going to fly directly over there, but then I saw these. Just making sure I have a picture of that guy. Get some up here. I think this is the last waterfall. Yeah, this is the last waterfall. In a second here, I'm going to put on the full Shike armor, just so I have full sneak. I'm going to go up here and check, because for shock arrows, because I can't remember if the shock arrows keep respawning, or if, like, after Divine Beast Varuta, they stop spawning. And it seems that they stop spawning after you defeat the Divine Beast, which is unfortunate, because that would have been a really reliable source of shock arrows. But it's okay, because I know that if we ever get a blood moon, we can just go back along the Zora path and kill all the enemies and get a bunch of shock arrows. No. We'll get a lot of regular arrows, not shock arrows. My bad. But arrows are still amazing as well. Because arrows are very badly needed. I tend to use arrows quite a lot, especially when trying to sneak up on enemies or doing headshots so I stun them. Because stunning them allows them to, like, stay still for a while, and when they get back up, if you shoot them in the head again, it will stun them again. So you'll do massive damage from directly hitting them in the face, and you'll instantly stun them so they don't move for a bit, which is always nice. So we're just going to explore around, see if there's any, like, ore deposits. Unfortunately, I don't see any so far. And I don't believe that there's any along this path, but we do get some new compendium entries, which is nice. Because I'm trying to fill that out completely for this playthrough. So, my goal for this playthrough is to do all the quests, fill up the compendium, if I can. I don't know if I'll be able to do that. I'm going to try, though. And I want to do, like, of course, all the major battles and stuff. But I'm really going to try and, like, complete all the quests and the compendium. That's why I got the compendium and pictures so early. That way I wouldn't miss, like, the major bosses. Because I wanted to make sure I got those before I took on any boss. Because if I did the boss before I got that, then I wouldn't have been able to get pictures of them, because that's a one-time battle. Because as you saw when we went to do the final terminal after beating the water blight Ganon, it said that we won't be able to enter Varuda again. So, yeah. That's a little bit sucky that we can't refight the bosses after we beat the story to get the compendium pictures if we didn't have them before, but it's understandable. So, yeah, I didn't see any ore deposits over there, so we're just going to keep moving forward. And I do see a little flower up here, which means it's a Korok. So I'm going to follow this little guy all the way up here. It's going to go all the way over there, so I'm going to follow it. Okay, so last one. And we made it. Sorry, had to pause the recording for a bit to get some stuff done. But I'm back. Is that a ore? No, that's not an ore deposit. Never mind. I know what that is. I do go over here and get this because this is another Korok seed with this. And this is, I didn't mean to do that, this is magnesis. What I want to do is bring this all the way over here. Get a little closer just so it doesn't roll off the edge. And I thought it was going to roll off the edge, so I was prepared to grab it. Then I want to go all the way back over. You see that little hole? That's where we're going to drag this bad boy, plop it in here, And bam, Korok. Hello, little dude. Thank you. We're up to 32 now. Those are going to be very useful once we find, the dude again. I can't remember his name to save my life. Once we find him again, we can trade in all those Korok seeds for weapon slots. Which is going to come in handy. And I do see that shrine over there. And what I'm doing now is trying to deduct the best possible way to get over there. Which I think is going to be along this path over here. And it's going to be treacherous because, well, you'll see why in a little bit. Some of you probably already know why, but if you don't, you're about to find out. And it's not a very fun reason. There's a black moblin right there, which also isn't fun. And then this guy just pops out of nowhere. I do get him scanned, and then he almost one-shots me. I need to get some more fairies. And I also take a freaking defense food right here, because otherwise I will die. It only takes 2 hits to kill these guys, but if he had hit me again like he did, I would have died. So I badly needed the defense potion. Not potion, but food. You know what I mean. What we want to do now is come over here and take out this black moblin. Because I also need to take a picture of him as well. Luckily he didn't see me, but I tried sneaking up on this guy because I want to do a sneak strike. And I know I'm just wasting my defense potion, or defense boost right now, which I didn't think about until, like, later. Like, way later. I tried to grab that, but it was too late as well. But I try my best to sneak up on this guy. And yes, I'm, like, constantly checking the defense timer that I have left. Because with this guy, I definitely don't want to have to use another defense, because I end up needing those both later. But this guy ends up spotting me anyway, so the sneaking didn't even work. He misses a lot of his hits, minus that one. I think all the other hits prior, except maybe one more, miss. Which is very lucky. I think he gets like one more hit off. That I had to pause so I could get the next recording step. Oh no, he doesn't get another hit on me. That's awesome. I do need to scan that weapon. So I need to go and drop this real quick. Because if I throw it, it's a boomerang. So yeah, it's gonna swing out and fly back in. And I don't want that, so I'm just gonna drop it. So onward we go. And as you can see, my shrine detector is going off. And I was going to go and switch to the boomerang, but then I noticed my guardian sword was almost dead anyways. So I'm going to go ahead and use this up. But my shrine detector is going off near here. So there's obviously a shrine nearby somewhere. I do need to take a picture of this guy, because I do not have the black Lizalfos in the compendium. They did spot me for a second, and I had to go back behind the rock. But right here you can see that there's explodable barrels. So I want to try and hit this thing with a fire arrow just to try and chip some damage off on them. The first arrow I miss, but the second arrow hits, luckily. I did kill one guy automatically, but the other guys take my knees off. And I apparently still had a defense buff. I'm just now noticing that while I'm taking in the editing. While I'm recording the audio, I'm just now noticing that I still had a small defense buff. There was only a few seconds left, but I still had a bit of a buff. But I do take another one because I was running out anyways. So, and they still hit me really, really hard. Like, they hit me really hard. Where'd that other Lizalfos go? Oh, wait, no. I killed that Lizalfos. What am I talking about? So, a Royal Broadsword is really, really good. I want to grab all these items. Especially the Lizalfos tail, because as I said previously, those are going to be very valuable later on. Want to drop this and take a picture of it. I think that's a very good picture for the compendium. Well, I didn't get the whole thing, but I do also want to take a picture of this and pick it up just so it's registered. It's a really good shield. I did take a picture. Oh, wait, no, I didn't take a picture of the sword yet. I do want to try and chip off some damage with these, with arrows. Okay, he's down. This guy, knocked away. Kill that guy. Pick up his weapon and then kill that guy. There we go. And then we get the chest. Nice. Take all the monster items. That's a claymore. It's a really good heavy hitting weapon, but it's a dual-handed weapon, which I don't particularly like using personally, because they're slow, they're harder to wield when trying to hit enemies because of the fact that they're slow. So it's just really difficult to use them. And here we get a silver scale spear, which I'm just taking out of the chest so I can scan it. And I'm gonna pick up the Fortalizal boomerang again because it's just a better item. There, I miss the freaking scan, unfortunately, so I have to redo that. But we get that registered, and we're gonna head on. I'm just gonna check up here and see if there's anything along these rocks, like any luminous ore deposits, and I do not unfortunately see any. So I think we're just gonna head on. Yeah, we're just gonna head on over. Now, over here, you're fixing to see why this area is so treacherous. That's why. You saw it for a split second, but there are flying guardians. The footage doesn't catch me taking a picture of them, I don't believe. I honestly don't remember if it does. But yeah, there are flying guardians all over that area. So it's not fun. But the shrine detector was pointing over this way, and I didn't see the shrine at first, and there's a reason for that. I remember the shrine as soon as I went to fly over, from one of my previous playthroughs. And there's a reason you don't see the shrine right away. And you're about to find out why. I do go back just to test to see if the shrine was over here, and it definitely is. Because I was confused at first. But I jumped down to that first little ledge that was right beside us, and then I head over here. because I'm like, well, I don't see it anywhere. And then you're gonna head over here and you see that little bombable wall on the underside of that cliff. That's where my memory kicked in. So you're supposed to actually stasis all these little magnesis rocks and try to hit them over towards that wall so you can destroy it, but bomb arrows do the trick just as nice. I did waste 2 of them trying to get it in because I wasn't close enough. That, or either I was just at the wrong angle. I got close with one of them. If I just aimed a little bit higher, I probably could have gotten it with that arrow, with the next arrow, but I didn't want to risk it and lose another bomb arrow and not hit it. So I did move my position. Now, yeah, this is a modest test of strength. I'm a little scared. I'm a little scared. So, I want to make sure I have the best gear on. So, I do put on my champion's tunic because it has slightly more defense. I do have extra hearts right now, which is good, but yeah, you're gonna find out what happens. Here in just a second. I'll pause here for a second just to see if I can use anything to my advantage, and unfortunately I cannot, and I do need to take a picture of this guy anyways. So, yeah, bigger, scarier weapons, because as you can see, this guy is a Guardian Scout 3, and yeah, watch. Ready? Bam. He kills me. Yeah, not too fun. So, yeah, I took the last defense food that I had because it's very badly needed for this fight. So, unfortunately, I gotta head somewhere where I can fill up on defense foods again, because, yeah. And I keep forgetting how to do dodge attacks, but I remembered later on that I have to not have a weapon in my hand. I just need to be shielding, and then I can jump to the side or jump backwards and dodge the attack. Now here is where you want to I just like to shoot direct arrows at them while they're doing this because it gets a lot of damage off of them. But you could also use the wind that it's projecting while it's doing this to fly up and then go into target mode. See, here I figured out that I can jump to the side and do flurry rush and get a bunch of damage off on them. But, as I was saying, you can use that, hang on a second. This is danger mode, because this is when he starts targeting you and builds up a blast. But I just shoot him with arrows, and it works. But, that, spin laser, you can just use the wind that he provides to get up in the air, and then you can slow motion aim with an arrow to hit him in the eye. But you have to time it just right, otherwise you'll miss it, and you'll run out of stamina in the air, and you'll fall down. So, you gotta time that crap perfectly. I do take some time trying to contemplate what I want to get rid of, and it takes me a bit to figure out what, because I want to keep the sledgehammers for ores. I want to keep all my guardian swords. I want to keep the flame sword, the torch, and the korok leaf because those become very valuable later on. So I'm just gonna throw away the axe and just move on with that. And I'm gonna keep rocking the broadsword for right now, I guess, because I think it's a really high durability weapon because I've been using it a lot and it still hasn't broke yet. So that's why I'm just assuming that. But in here, we find a sapphire, which is very valuable. And from now on, I'm going to keep all my sapphires, rubies, and I believe topaz, because I think all three of those gems are later used for gear upgrades, like your armor. I know for a fact that ruby and sapphire are. I'm not too certain about topaz, though. But I know for a fact that ruby and sapphire are used for gear upgrades. So I won't be using those for money anymore. Which I think is the smarter decision. But when you get out of there, you want to go over to this wind stream, which will then take you all the way back up. And then you can just glide on over to the cliffs. And I do want to explore over here some, because there's some ore deposits. I clicked the wrong thing there. I clicked the wrong thing again because I wanted to switch over to the sledgehammer I had been using. Because I don't want to use both of my sledgehammers to break things, because then I'm using the durability of both of them, and that's just a waste. Because, yeah, it just makes sense. I don't really think I need to explain it. But we're going to head on back to where we were now, because that's the area where I want to... I'm put on the Chica armor again. That's the area where I want to head towards, because there's another shrine there. So, yeah, we're going to head on back over there. There is a waterfall over here that I could swim up, but I don't think it's going to be that useful. I just come over here to check for items, see if there's anything over here, which there is. So I pick those up, I go up here just to check for items, and there's nothing really interesting up here, so we just move on. And it's raining right now, so I can't really climb any cliffs that well, otherwise we'll slippy slip. Which is never fun, because it wastes your stamina a lot. Yeah, it's never fun trying to climb up mountains during the rain. Honestly, it's so annoying. But I climb up here just to see if there's any items. And there doesn't seem to be so far. There's these magnesis rocks, but other than that, I don't think there's anything too interesting. So we're back at the camp where we killed those Lizalfos. So I think we're just gonna move on now. Yeah. We're just gonna keep on traveling. Sorry, my phone is going off. I have people texting me. So, are you guys enjoying this series so far? I'm having a blast with it. I do want to get out my broadsword here, because there's another black moblin. I was making sure it was a black moblin, I do believe. But, I was gonna sneak up on this guy, but then I was like, well, I'm just gonna forget that idea and just run directly up to him. And I want to keep his items, so I try to lure him back. And he backs up again, so I have to wait. him back again. I do need to take a picture of that. I do end up zooming out in order to get that picture. Okay, now we're gonna head over here. I want to grab that first. Grab the lizard. So yeah. Is this where I take the picture of that dude? I don't think so. Maybe it is. It might be. Yeah, it is. Okay. So I did get the picture here. You guys get to see it. So we're gonna head on over, and you're fixing to see something in a little while. I think crossing the other bridge, because it's gonna be nighttime. But yeah, it's not gonna be fun. But there's a couple of ore deposits over here. I do believe so. There's nothing down there, but there's stuff around here, I think. Oh yeah, I do take a picture of these guys, because I do not have these. And there's a couple of, like, items I can pick up, like the silent shroom and a woodcutter's axe, if I needed it. I checked to make sure I had the picture, though. And I get the lizard. But that's not my main reason for being here. I should have known that I had those. I just recently took a picture of those. That's not the main reason I'm here. I'm here for ore deposits. And you see that little island over there? There's ore deposits there. And there's an ore deposit here. So I want to grab this. So, wrong thing. Switch to my sledgehammer. Go over here. And I want to glide over here. And there's a bombable little... what is a pyramid kind of thing, I guess. So put a bomb there, hit the other side, and explode it. And Korok, baby. Hello. I love doing that with the rock ones. It's so funny. And give me that. Give me that. And over on the back side, you can see that there's a really rare one. I do check to make sure I have the rare ore deposit picture. And in this one, we get a topaz, a sapphire, an amber, which is always nice. So I head on back over here, because we need to get back up to that top path. I do see a warm darner, which I need pictures of for the compendium. And I want to grab these as well, because these are going to be very useful later on. I thought I could get that one, but that one was counted as a not grabbable one. But there's some luminous stones there that I grab. Now we're going to go ahead and move on. And here, as you can see, I can't really, like, jump up there, unfortunately. So I do have to glide over to this wind stream. And it has to, like, pick me up. I don't know why my character why Link decided to try and push those rocks. But he did. And it looks like it's raining, but I guess it wasn't, because I was perfectly able to climb these cliffs. And I about ran out of stamina, but I do have stamina foods, luckily. So I just ate one and kept climbing. I got so scared that was a guardian, like an active guardian. So I was like, oh yeah, let me not let that guy see me. And this guy just shoots his friend. So that was nice. That was a free kill for me. Yeah, anyways. And the thumbnail for this video is because of this reason right here. I was not expecting this to happen. I didn't think I was playing this long, but apparently I did. You get a small glimpse of the shine right there. But yeah. Yeah, that happens. I tried to, I was like, wait, do I do this with my camera or do I just take screenshots? I just decided to, get a couple screenshots and try to get some, really good ones, which is why I'm, posing like this. I'm trying to get a few good screenshots for the thumbnail. So, that's why I'm standing still for this. But there's another bombable wall over here, so I want to go and grab this before the blood moon hits, because there's another really good screenshot I can get while it's in transitioning to the blood moon. We get a ruby and a bunch of amber, so I want to wait until it gets a really red sky. So I get a couple screenshots right here. I get one right here, and then I get one right here where the moon is showing. And then I also get one here. I didn't want to interrupt the cutscene. And it didn't even get the full cutscene in there. But, yeah. Thanks, Blood Moon. You got a good freaking... You gave me a good thumbnail for the video. I appreciate it. But, unfortunately, this is about where the video ends. But we do have to hurry over this bridge. Because, as you can see, there's a flock of geese. And they will knock me off the bridge if I'm not careful. But, I hope you all enjoy this video. If you are enjoying the series, leave a like. It lets me know. And subscribe, because that lets me know you want to see more. Comment away if you want. Suggestions are always helpful. But, I'll see you all in the next one. These guys are stuck, which is funny. But, goodbye. Enjoy your day.